Welcome to Apathetic Weekend Update. I'm your host, guy who didn't notice take a 2-week hiatus from the show. Our top story tonight, kind of old news by now, but guy whose head looks like a dumpling dropped in a Swedish barbershop, Donald Trump, became the presumptive Republican nominee for president. Yeah, your Oculus Rift isn't that good. This is reality. Now, how did this happen? Well, many say it was due to the media's oversaturated coverage of his antics. But to be fair, that was a trap that no one could have foreseen coming. Oh, wait. Something Donald Trump, he's pretty much the kid on the playground that eats grasshoppers for attention at this point, and you're falling into his trap. Stop it. I hate myself a little more even for just having to mention it. So young and wooden in delivery. But see, mainstream media, had you just taken my advice, we wouldn't be here in the darkest timeline. Was that? Of course I took my own advice. I'm not a hypocrite. Republican National Convention held its very first Donald Trump quote generator, Trump's illegal immigrant exclusion policy. This week, Donald Trump, a tapeworm with cancer, was able to successfully transfer its cancer cells to the host. But enough about Donald Trump in the mainstream media. Donald Trump, guy who always talks like he just ate a sour Skittle. Donald Trump, 24-hour news network's literally golden goose. Donald Trump, man with a brow Rich Stallone could hang off of for a prolonged squint. Donald Trump, man who was carefully bred to speak through garden hoses. Donald Trump, guy I'm running out of alternative names for because he's in the news more often than a horoscope. Donald Trump, open to being Trump's vice president. Media perceived Chaplin turned Hitler. Donald Trump, type of naming that put Donald Trump in the lead, was a little different. Guy whose head looks like a dumpling dropped in a Swedish barbershop. Donald Trump, crit. Not worth it. Moving on, in British Columbia, Canada, a bill banning applause in Parliament was rejected and met with a standing ovation. However, the bill for immediate executions of people that whistle like this is still on the table. Quick life hack, want to know if someone's interested in you? See who they look at first when people start laughing. If it's not you, just keep eliminating your friends until it is. More foreign tragedies this week when... Hold on. Stop the teleprompter. Did someone switch the font from Arial to Helvetica without consulting me? What do you mean, calm down? Don't tell me there's not an extra stem on that capital G. In tackier news, you can now get married in Cinderella's castle. Why Cinderella's castle? Because characters in Disney movies never sign prenups. Poor bastard. Can't charm your way out of a failing marriage. On Monday, the CIA announced that it had accidentally destroyed a 6,700-page torture report. No worries though, as before the manuscript was shredded, it was made into a bloated feature film. No. Hey, who's the star of the show? Well, of course I'm using star loosely. Just change the font back to Arial so I don't have to decipher these hieroglyphics, all right? This week, Japan announced for the 2020 Olympic ceremonies, they're planning on creating a man-made meteor shower, whereas athletes at this year's Brazil ceremonies are just hoping for regular showers. A new study released this week claims the universe could potentially be home to trillions of alien civilizations, which means we could potentially never hear the end of this wall. This just in, now that you're an adult, Gushers fruit snacks are a luxury you can't believe your parents spent so much money on. Dun, dun, dun. On Friday, Trevor Noah's seat warmer, Jon Stewart, adopted an emaciated pony that had been hit 125 times with paintball guns. Is it just me, or has his judgment in new correspondence really gone downhill since he left The Daily Show? Although I guess after the paintballs, it technically is its own green screen. Oh, shouldn't have added that tag. They're being changed? All right, good. I'm glad we're all on board with treating this place like a professional work environment. Yeah. A Trump supporter was rejected service at an Outback Steakhouse, which is strange because they're usually so welcoming to people without taste. Just like the last time I got laid. And no, it doesn't get like enough flack. Carpets, right? They get steam cleaned maybe once a year. And in the meantime, just absorb all of our feet sweat. Ugh. That's all I got for that. Pandemonium last week at the Democratic National Convention when the current chairwoman ignored the will of the people and bent rules in favor of Hillary Clinton. And sorry, that's the wrong graphic. That is actually Bilbo Baggins lashing out for the Ring of Power that gives you dominance over all of mankind and Middle Earth. Totally unrelated. Can we get the right graphic up there? There we go. All right, back on track. What's become abundantly clear this primary season, and I know it's not going to be politically correct, but I'm going to say it anyway. The DNC has been infiltrated by Hydra. And I mean, sorry, what's that? Oh, she owns... Okay, well, it's like YouTube. It's not like she's able to censor. And that's it for your Apathetic Weekend update. If you enjoyed the episode, or just like being reminded that you didn't spend your May-long weekend editing a dumb video, please like, comment below, share with your friends, and subscribe. And yeah. I've been your host, guy who crafts his super long texts in his phone's notes folder to hide how long he deliberates on basic sentence structure. Good night. Oh, that's not very good beer at all.
Jason!